Hello students. Now in this video I will discuss periodic properties of elements. Periodic properties are the properties which are directly or indirectly related to their electronic configuration and show gradual change when we move from left to right in a period or from top to bottom in a group. As we have seen that the elements are placed according to their electronic configuration in modern periodic table. So as we move from left to right in a period or in a group top to bottom, then at every step electronic configuration will change and hence properties of elements also get changed. Let us discuss these properties one by one. First is atomic radius. It is the distance from the center of the nucleus to the outermost shell of the electron. Suppose this is an atom, this is its outermost shell. So atomic radius is the distance from nucleus of the atom to its outermost shell. Now as an atom is a part of a molecule, and in molecule atoms are bonded with each other either by covalent bond, ionic bond, or in any metallic crystal atoms are having metallic bond in between them. And in noble gases, since one atom is molecule itself, so atoms in that case means in noble gases, or in solid state different molecules have van der Waals force of attraction in between them. So according to these types of forces between atoms, radii can be classified in many categories. Let us discuss one by one every type of radius. First is covalent radius. Covalent radius, it is the half of the distance between nucleus of two covalently bonded atoms. I am repeating, covalent radius is the half of the distance between the nucleus of two covalently bonded atoms. Okay. Now if molecule is of A2 type, means both the atoms are of the same type, then radius can be calculated by using this formula. It is half of the distance between nucleus of two atoms. If our molecule is heteroatomic molecule like AB, okay, then distance between the nucleus can be calculated by using this formula, and in this way we can calculate radius. Okay. Next is van der Waals radius. It is defined as one half of the distance between the nucleus of two non-bonded isolated atoms or two adjacent atoms belonging to neighboring molecule of an element in solid state. So isolated atoms, as in the case of noble gases, and distance between the nucleus of two atoms of two neighboring molecules if our sample is solid. Next is metallic radius. It is defined as one half of the distance between the centers of two nuclei of two adjacent atoms in metallic crystals. It is shown in this diagram. Half of the distance between the nucleus of two metal atoms which are placed adjacent to each other. Next is ionic radius. Now as we know that atom can be changed to cation by removal of electrons and to anion by gaining of electron. Suppose this is an atom. Cation is found by losing of electron and anion is found by gaining of electron. As cation is formed by losing of electron, so cation is always smaller than parent atom because during its formation effective nuclear charge increases. Number of electrons becomes less as compared to number of protons. So size of cation becomes smaller than neutral atom and size of anions is larger than the size of neutral atom because in anion more electrons are present, means number of electrons are more, number of protons are less, hence size of anion becomes larger than the size of neutral atom. Okay. Now, in case of isoelectronic ions, the higher the nuclear charge, smaller is the size. Now, what we mean by isoelectronic ions? Isoelectronic ions are those ions which contain same number of electrons. Okay, let us discuss this example. Aluminium plus 3, magnesium plus 2, sodium plus 1, F minus 1, O minus 2, N minus 3. All these ions are isoelectronic ions as all these contain 10 electrons. Okay. Now atomic number of aluminium is 13, magnesium 12, sodium 11, fluorine 9, oxygen 8 and nitrogen 7. Okay. So this is the number of protons in these ions. Since in aluminium number of protons are maximum, number of electrons are same in all the species. But since number of protons are maximum in case of aluminium plus 3 ion, so its size is smallest among all these ions, and since number of protons are least in case of N minus 3 ion, so its size is largest. So if iron is anion, then its size becomes more as compared to other ion which is cation, and if both are isoelectronic. In general, the order of radii is this, means covalent radius is smallest or least one and van der Waals radius is largest. Now let us discuss how atomic radius varies in a period when we move from left to right. In general, the atomic size decreases on moving from left to right in a period. Now let us discuss its reason. It is due to, first, increase in effective nuclear charge. Okay. Now let us discuss first part, that why on moving from left to right in a period atomic size decreases. As it is written here, it is due to increase in effective nuclear charge. As we move from left to right, at every step one electron is being added. Okay. Let us understand this variation with the help of this diagram. As we move from lithium to beryllium, one electron is being added in the outermost shell and at the same time one proton is also added in the nucleus. Boron, again one electron is being added here, one proton added in the nucleus, carbon again and nitrogen, so on. So as we move from left to right in one particular period, one electron is being added in the outermost shell and at the same time one proton is also added in the nucleus. So as number of protons increases step by step, so total force of attraction of the nucleus also increases, and this gives more attractive force for the electrons, and electrons are attracted with greater force of attraction, or we can say that effective nuclear charge increases step by step, and in this way electron cloud shrinks. It comes closer to nucleus and hence atomic size decreases on moving from left to right. Now on moving from top to bottom, now let us see this configuration. Lithium 2s1, outermost shell configuration is 2s1, sodium 3s1, potassium 4s1, rubidium 5s1, cesium 6s1 and francium 7s1. That as we move from lithium to francium, a new shell is being added. New shell means size of atom increases. Look here, one shell, two shells, three shells. So in this way, as we move from top to bottom in a group, atomic size increases. Next property is ionization enthalpy. It is the amount of energy required to remove the loosely bound electron from the isolated gaseous atom. What does it mean? Since electrons are bonded with protons with the force of attraction, so if we want to take out one electron from this shell, suppose I want to take out this electron from the shell, then I have to break force of attraction that exists in between proton and electron. So to break this force of attraction, we have to supply some amount of energy. This amount of energy is called as ionization energy or ionization enthalpy. In general, it can be shown by this equation. A is an atom which is in gaseous state. When we supply some amount of energy to this gaseous atom, one electron is being removed and hence this atom is converted to cation. Okay. Now let us discuss the various factors which affects ionization enthalpy, and after that we'll discuss variation in a group of the periodic table and in a period. First is atomic size. Ionization enthalpy depends upon atomic size. And atomic size and ionization enthalpy both are inversely related to each other. As I told, that ionization energy is the energy that is required to take out the electron of the outermost shell of an atom. So, directly it depends upon force of attraction. More is the force of attraction between nucleus and electron, more energy we have to supply. Okay? And also, this force of attraction depends upon size. As we have discussed, that as we move from left to right in a period, atomic size decreases continuously. Okay? So in this way, force of attraction between nucleus and outermost shell becomes more and more. More force of attraction, more energy we have to supply. That means more is ionization enthalpy. So what we can say, lesser is the size, more is the ionization enthalpy. So ionization enthalpy varies inversely with atomic size. So in general, from left to right, ionization enthalpy increases, and from top to bottom in a group, as size increases, so ionization enthalpy decreases. Okay. Now second factor is screening effect. Ionization enthalpy also varies inversely with screening effect. Now what is screening effect? Now in presence of inner shell electrons, suppose we take the example of this silicon atom. It has 3 shells, 1, 2 and 3. Third shell is the outermost shell. So in between this third shell electron and nucleus, second shell and first shell electrons are also present. So these third shell electrons do not experience 100% force of attraction of the nucleus. First shell electrons experiences maximum force of attraction. Second shell electrons experiences little bit less, and third shell electrons will experience lesser than what force of attraction second shell electrons experiences. So this is the power of inner shell electrons to shield the force of attraction of the nucleus for outermost shell electrons. If shielding effect or screening effect of inner shell electrons is more, means lesser force of attraction of the nucleus is reaching to the outermost shell electrons. That means these electrons are bonded with weak force of attraction with the nucleus. Weak force of attraction means by supplying little amount of the energy, electron can be removed. So if screening effect is more, lesser amount is required for the removal of electron, and in this way ionization enthalpy will be less. So more is the screening effect, lesser is ionization enthalpy. That means it varies inversely with screening effect. Third is nuclear charge. Ionization enthalpy varies directly with nuclear charge. As we have discussed in these cases, more is the nuclear charge, more strongly electrons are bonded with the nucleus, and hence we have to supply more amount of energy. So generally from left to right in a period, ionization enthalpy increases, and from top to bottom in a group it decreases. In a period, ionization enthalpy of inert gases is exceptionally very high. Exceptionally very high. Why it is so? Because of their stable configuration. Okay, they are stable, so they don't want to lose the electron. So this is the exceptional case that in a period, as we move from left to right, ionization enthalpy decreases, but group 18 element noble gases have highest ionization enthalpy due to their stable electronic configuration. Okay, next one, let us compare ionization enthalpy of nitrogen and oxygen. Since size of oxygen is lesser than size of nitrogen, okay, so in this way ionization enthalpy of oxygen should be more than ionization enthalpy of nitrogen, but it is not so. Ionization enthalpy of nitrogen is more than ionization enthalpy of oxygen. Let us discuss why it is so. Electronic configuration of nitrogen is 1s2 2s2 2p3 and of oxygen is 1s2 2s2 2p4. So it is clear from their electronic configuration that nitrogen is in stable form as its p subshell is half filled. More stability means nitrogen atom do not want to lose its electron. So we have to supply more and more amount of energy to take out electron from its outermost shell. On the contrary, oxygen want to remove its one electron to get stable. When oxygen removes its one electron, its configuration becomes 2p3, and in this way it achieves stable electronic configuration and hence its ionization enthalpy is less. More easily atom want to lose the electron, lesser is the ionization enthalpy. Okay. Now one more exception. In transition series, means d block elements, ionization enthalpy of copper and chromium is also higher as compared to their nearby elements. Again, it is due to their stable electronic configuration. Copper 3d10 4s1 full filled 3d10 most stable condition, chromium 3d5 just half filled configuration. So these two atoms are in their stable condition or they're in stable configuration. So again they do not want to lose their electron, and in this way their ionization enthalpies are also high. Okay. So this is all about today's video. Thank you.